You know how you feel sometimes when you see someone else being rude to someone? You know, and you look at that, or it might be a parent with a child, or spouses, or whatever, and you really rather they wouldn't do that. You know, there's that uncomfortable feeling. And sometimes it's almost like you wish they would do that to you because you're prepared to handle it perhaps better than the one who's getting it. You know that feeling? I feel that way almost every day. Almost every day, whether it's in the marketplace or in an office somewhere, something I read in a magazine or newspaper, or perhaps see on television. And it's phrases, things that people do to support one another, to elevate one another, and yet somehow something is amiss. For example, one of the ones that I hear as frequently as any is words to the effect that, sweetheart, if you're going to be successful and happy and fulfilled, you're just going to have more self-confidence. You ever heard that one? And it's almost like part of our culture, you know. But what we're suggesting is that's not a very nice thing to say to somebody. That's really not a very nice thing to say. And we'll examine as we go along why that's so. But I'm going to put that up here right now. Self-confidence. There's another one that comes up a lot, too, that you hear a lot about, and that's self-esteem. Ever hear that phrase? Kind of fascinating. Self-esteem. Bad phraseology. Bad phraseology. Now, I can just feel someone out there in the audience saying, wait a minute here. You know, I'm 40, 45, 50 years old, been working at it all my life, finally think I got it just about nailed, and you're saying that's insignificant, that it's not necessary? Well, let's go on. Something else, being in the industry, too, I hear this an awful lot, and that's this phrase, self-improvement. Self-improvement. You ever hear that one? See, everybody's looking to be improve themselves. So self-improvement. Now, I know the intent behind this. There's no question about that. But what's really happening here? For example, if you say to someone, if you're going to be fulfilled and happy and successful, you're going to have more self-confidence. And if they don't happen to have whatever that is, what might never get done? You know what I mean? In other words, if you don't have self-confidence, you think, oh, gee, perhaps I shouldn't even get started. And I see that happening a lot. Or, for example, if you ask someone, as we have thousands of times, to say, we ask them, give us a score. Where is your self-confidence levels from 0 to 100? Where is your self-confidence levels from 0 to 100? And people look, and you can almost hear the gears working as that needle slides back up and down their scale, zzz, 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 trying to find a place where they can settle. And usually you get an answer like, well, depending on what? Are we talking about warming up peas for dinner? Or are we talking about standing in the doorway of an airplane ready to jump out for the first time? You know what I mean? What are you talking about here? In other words, it's a nebulous kind of a thing that's pretty hard to get a handle on. And so we've never had 100, never had a 0. But people will give estimates like between 40 and 80, and it seems to be the way it is. It's a difficult thing.